What is up, Watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today, like all Mondays, we're doing a little bit of a rant. But before we get into that, a couple of matters to take care of. First, wristwatch check, right? So I'm wearing a killer 34 millimeter Tudor Big Rose, right? I think that this is a real historic moment in Tudor. Tudor changed, I think, their logo, I think four or five times in their history, and the Big Rose is probably, if not one of the most famous, one of the most desirable. So this watch, right up my alley, right? So I'm really enjoying it. Oh, and it has a roulette date wheel, I mean, which is totally, so every other date, so this is the 17th, but on the 18th it'll be red, and on the 19th it'll be black. It's super cool. Anyway, it's available at our shop at Theo and Harris, so just for some details, check it out. And finally, before we get into my rant and discussion here, subscribe to our channel right below. We just broke 5,000 last week, so it would really mean the world to us to get up to 6 as quick as we can. So please subscribe. Now let's get into it. Okay, I am really going off the cuff here. I know what's going on, what I'm about to talk about, but I did not do like intense research. I'm going to take this like a consumer, and I'm going to talk about the topic from the standpoint of a consumer, not this, industry, guru or, heavy-hitting YouTuber. It's just going to be my impressions, like I said, as a consumer. The Apple Watch. The Apple Watch, the second generation, right, was released just the other day, last week, and a lot of people came out with the reactions really quick. And people, I think, in news and in all kinds of publications, whether it's YouTube or print, they just try to put shit out there as soon as possible. I'm not like that. I couldn't care for who gives it to me first as far as opinion. I just want a good opinion. So that's why I'm going to get into mine. So Apple released a second Apple Watch, not one that is aesthetically different than the one that exists, one that is technologically different, more capabilities. They're doing what Apple does, right? They're moving into the future. So it's more technologically savvy. In functionality, it's now waterproof or swim-proof, which at first glance, what's the difference? But a company like Apple knows the difference, right? And that's why they communicated it in such, particular kind of dialogue. They're paying attention to consumers, right? How they can fit in consumers' lives, and watch companies are not. One of the big differences in why, why Apple is doing so well and watch companies are failing. What is the difference, Christian? The difference is the direct implication by the word swim versus waterproof, right? Swim-proof implies whether you're going to swim or not right now. It implies its use and its value in a particular lifestyle, right? Sports as a whole. Waterproof says this watch, will not be broken in the water. Swim-proof says this watch is your friend because you swim. Those are two vastly different ideas, even though they're communicating the same end goal message. And my point is not to say that, watches that we love are not waterproof or swim-proof. Of course they are. But Apple is paying closer attention to consumers and trying to, speak their language. Big note on why, and they went further on to say, Apple is killing it, supposedly at least. Apple cited that their sales are second to no one but Rolex. Rolex is number one, Apple's number two, and that kind of, trajectory, they should be beating Rolex pretty soon. In a year or two, to grow that quickly and to beat out so many other well-established watch companies, and they said Longines, Patek Philippe, Casio, so many companies, that is a bold statement. Where they got that information, no one has any idea. It can be totally made up. I tend to believe Apple that it is true, but in one respect. I don't think that Apple's, making more money off of watches. They're selling more watches than anybody else. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that Apple's picking very selective statistics to show their importance, right? And to show, while acknowledging the wristwatch world, that not only does the wristwatch world exist, but we are a watch, and we are competing, and we are winning. And that's a bold statement by Apple to put themselves 3 or 4 slots above Patek Philippe, arguably one of the best watchmakers in the world, if not in watch, then in recognition. What I care about, more so than anything after all of this, is how Apple is communicating to the masses. How Apple, knows that their medium, right, technology, right, innovative technology, is more widely accepted and by the masses. Right? Whereas watches really aren't. I don't know this. I've never done a study on this, but I'm pretty damn sure, in being in watches for quite a while and talking to thousands of people about watches largely are a status symbol. That's it. And that's unfortunate. And I know that on the Facebook groups and on YouTube, we really love things, and I really love watches. Believe me, I do. I just geeked out over a Tudor Rose, But we have to understand that there has to be mass market appeal if these companies continue to grow. We have to sacrifice our geekdom sometimes. The watch companies need to check themselves and check their geekdom at the door, and yes, explore and innovate and create. But sometimes for the mass market, you have to kind of check yourself and say, all right, maybe we don't really need to spend that $4 million in development and the extra 400 per watch unit, because the mass market may not appreciate it as much as we do. And yes, there's something really charming about like an Anthony Bourdain type character or a company that says like, it, like, f it all, I'm gonna make what I want and everyone's gonna either take it or die. And that's cute and that's awesome, but the truth is, like, that's not practical. And there will always be that one or two in every market, but everyone can't be that one or two. They have to listen. In the same way that Apple is listening so closely to their consumer base, right? I think that they're only making it stronger. At first, everyone thought the Apple Watch was this like, cute little thing that was gonna happen for a minute. It's not. My dentist wears one. I see attorneys wearing them. I see people from all walks of life that I never really thought in the beginning would wear them. They're wearing them. And if they didn't like them on the rubber, they're wearing them on Hermes. Okay, it is a status symbol, and put it this way, it checks off both status and practicality, right? And for a lower price. Even the highest level, forget the gold, but the highest level at like $1,000 is significantly less expensive than most luxury watches. The mass market looks at an Hermes Apple Watch and says, that's cool, like respect, like you blew a lot of money on that, right? Now, what do you think people are going to see more as a status symbol? An Hermes Apple Watch or a Sin? What do you think? A Sin could be $1,800. But the truth is, at the end of the day, I think an Hermes Apple Watch is going to get more play for the luxury check than anything. And I'm not blaming Sin. I actually like Sin quite a bit. I come to their defense all the time. But still, on a perceived value standpoint, when it comes to like how much I'm actually getting in shock value, the Apple Watch is bringing it at a fraction of the cost. Is it overpriced? Is it going to be outdated? Yes, I understand all of your arguments, that you're not going to want to wear this in 10 years, unless 20, or give it to your grandson. I totally agree. You're going to lose the charger before your grandson's even born, but there is an appeal. And I feel like if more larger companies tuned into Apple and saw what they were doing, keeping it simple, producing products that everyone likes, not just core audiences. Okay, if watch companies were to do that, I feel like they would be in a much better position. And I'm not like throwing down tactical specifics because I'm not in those companies. And if I did throw down tactical specifics right now, a lot of them kind of would be just made up and imaginary. But I think the critique is still there. It's still real. You can tell when industries or companies are not listening to their clientele. And obviously Apple isn't falling victim to that. They are listening, they're executing on it. And if you take them for their word, they're killing everybody. So no, when I hear the Apple Watch, my first feeling isn't like, oh, Apple Watch people, I hate those people. No, it's not. Put that in your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, get over it. Stop hating the Apple Watch and stop hating people for loving the Apple Watch. It makes perfect sense. I mean, look at the evolution of how we've allowed technology into our lives. It's not as much of a tool as it is just this luxury. We are getting closer and closer to integrating our lives into technology completely. So for a watch, something that really never leaves your sight, to be doing so well in that space, it's a layup. I mean, the fact that we're even surprised, at this point, it's like, it's amazing. I feel like they're really speaking to normal, consumers, and a lot of watch companies aren't. That's kind of it. You want to see better sales, listen a little bit more. Apple's doing it, and their product's disposable. So if they're doing it with a disposable product, you should be able to do it with one that lasts a lifetime. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that was a bit of a mishmash. It didn't make a lot of sense always, but take it, bit by bit and consume it like that. Like I said, I'm just kind of giving you my feelings on this, and then that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and please subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot.